it is still really hot at the moment. Unfortunately, for those of you who know, it's already starting to get really warm here in sunny old Brisbane.
There is no spring in Brisbane.
No, it's summer and a brief kind of winter.
We have early summer,
hotter summer,
midsummer, rainy summer,
midsummer,
less summer.
Yeah.
Even what would be considered our winter is pretty mild compared to some of the southern.
Oh yeah, it was like
southern states.
Down to like 10 to 12 degrees Celsius during the day.
This was great.
Which is pretty good for us, but
at the very coldest.
Yeah, and that's like actually that wouldn't have been during the day. Unfortunately, it's
single digits at night.
Yeah, like in the morning when I was going to work, it was like 8 degrees.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
That's the thing. We consider single digits to be very cold.
Yep. But
you'll still have those people that are just like, it's not cold.
It's
They
not
wear
cold
like
at all.
a singlet and shorts.
Nah, mate.
No, don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, you see the people wearing
classic
like
tough guy move.
wearing singlet and tight shorts and going jogging in like 4 a.m. in the morning and then just like
Just got to warm up a bit, mate.
Bit of sweat.
just start moving, you'll warm up a bit. It's okay. Well, unfortunately for the rest of us, we're in this rapidly warming studio, so maybe we should start with an actual episode here of Reflex Save.
Boo.
that would be ideal.
That would probably be a good idea. So, last week, I think this is sort of the age-old adage for most DMs is you prepare so much for your players to do a whole bunch of stuff, and they always do the thing that you did not plan for.
Heavy
Go get
drinking.
wasted.
They're going to get wasted at the pub, which, to be fair, I probably should have seen coming. In any case, you did complete the delivery of mead to the town, or to the town tavern. Had a small, rewarding, maybe self-reflection drinking session. And the three of you out of the 4 stumbled out drunk with a little kobold that was still sober as far as we could tell, tailing behind. You're on your way to the Frozenfar Expeditions, which is a adventuring and mountaineering outfitter store nearby.
And it's basically Anaconda.
Yeah.
Kathmandu.
Yeah, that too.
Do we get sponsors for them?
If we don't, we should, because they ain't cheap.
If we're not getting sponsors, it's nothing like them.
Yes, agreed.
You guys are heading over to the Frozenfar Expeditions. You can see it just in front of you.
No, I'm late to the joke. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
We hate that joke.
If there's one thing I've ever taught myself, it's you're never too late for a joke as long as you think it's funny.
No, I was thinking about North Face as like the competitor, but it's gone now.
Yeah, that's another potential.
Only if they sponsor us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, whichever one sponsors us, the rest of them get fucked.
You're outside in front. What are the 3 of you bound by the shoulders want to do?
I wonder if they do Gore-Tex.
And Cadillion as well.
Oh, you want to wear
Bound
matching
by the tail?
outfits?
Vortex.
Yes? Well,
Wrapped up like a scarf.
Wrapped up like a scarf.
Cozy. It's over there. I point hopefully in the direction that we're supposed to
it's
go.
like-
Can't really like
It's
get
about
like a
12
stick
feet
out
in
and
front
like
of us.
adjust her
Yes.
slightly.
It's pointing completely in the wrong direction, but Cadillion can read, so he's like, that way. Just redirecting Sveta's arm slightly till she points to the
I
right
just
store.
like put a hand on each side of her head and just like rotate her head like
Oh.
right in front of us.
There it is. I told you we'd find it.
And we have...
Yeah.
What a guide.
Do you
What
still
a
need a
guide.
blanket?
No,
No.
he's taking mine.
No, don't bring up the blanket.
So I'm pretty sure they sell them here.
But I bet they're really warm.
I think what it is,
High quality blankets.
we need some information, right? Wait, well, no. Carnelia, maybe you should do the talking.
Yeah, you're confident.
You're capable. I must turn and throw up. You got this one.
As Carnelian's watching that, Woden's on his way in the door.
Alright.
You walk into this, it looks like it's a pretty neat little shop. It smells rather like sort of that kind of woody, kind of outdoorsy smell. Seems to permeate the entire store. And you smell that sort of fresh leather smell as well, as most of the goods seem to be kept in pretty good quality all along the shelves and all on the walls.
Pine tar.
At the back, you can see a man, a human, standing behind a counter, and he looks up at you and goes, "Welcome to Frozenfar Expeditions. My name is Atena. How can I help you?"
Carnelian will make sure to hurry inside just after. just in case, just to catch any potential social faux pas before they occur.
Okay. Is it just Woden and Carnelian in, or are you all in?
Like, as a lead, my tail is just on Carnelian, so I'm following it after him.
So it's Woden strides in, Carnelian quickly slips in behind him, and Svetra's like stumbling with her tail, following Carnelian. Is Horatio just still throwing up outside? Or?
Well, after they've all gone inside, he just shouts to no one, "Oh, just give me a minute." Like, just clearing the nostrils for those listening. You know, one at a time, one at a time.
Just like a long icicle just starts
Oh, no,
forming.
stop. I don't like it.
Too far for Jen.
And then I just pick up like some snow and oh, it's water, it'll wash. Oh, it's not working. Oh.
Yeah, it's cold, it's horrible.
And it's starting to freeze on my beard, and
Yep.
I'm just a hot fucking mess. We've all been there.
It's true.
I hope.
I haven't done the snow in my beard, but you know.
No, Carnelian's never been there.
How many people are in the shop?
You just see the shopkeep at this stage.
You there.
Yes.
Good man. My name's Woden.
Welcome to my
I'm
store.
here for some goods and some clues.
Well, I'm sure I can help you with the goods. What are you after?
A blanket.
You're after a
Perception.
blanket.
Keep it down, keep
You're after a blanket. Yes, I supply a lot of different camping
Yes,
blankets.
I know. Shh. I'm looking for a -35 rated.
Can I roll a perception check?
You sure can, but you're still at disadvantage for being drunk.
Oh my god. It's a natural 1.
You have no idea.
Which brings it to a 6.
You have no idea.
Yes. I can get away with anything now. even with my low rolls, because you've got disadvantage.
And he sort of like directs you to a corner of the store that has a number of different blankets all rolled up.
Thank you. I'll head there shortly. But I have a question for you, sir.
Yes. What?
I have it on good authority that you've recently been burgled.
Yes, that's correct. A few different places around town have had a lot of things missing. For us, we had a small sack of pearls that were carved into decorative beads. They've gone missing, I'd say, about a week ago.
A week ago. Do you have any suspects? Who do you think would have done it?
I couldn't tell you that, but I can tell you, my former life I was quite the outdoorsman, so when I found that they were missing, I took a look around my store, and I found some tracks that led out further to the north. They were at least somewhat humanoid, but I only got a few hundred feet before I had to turn back. My old bones really don't allow me to take such kind of risks anymore, you understand.
I definitely understand. We only got 100 feet as well. We forgot to deliver our main quest objective.
You look a lot younger than I did. I wouldn't have expected that you would have come back to town and done a few random things rather than continued to follow tracks.
It was
that were right in
strange of
front
us,
you.
yes. We had things to do.
If I was such an adventurer, I probably would have jumped on the freshly laden tracks. You know that the wilderness covers them quite quickly. If there's
Yes, I'm
any
aware.
kind of- well,
Always to the north, though.
at the moment,
And as an outdoorsman yourself,
yes.
have you been north?
Oh, I've been all over Icewind Dale. In my youth, I would stride the forests and plains in confidence, scale the mountains with ease, but those days are long behind me.
Have you been up mountain from last week's episode?
Kutha, I believe.
Kutha.
Could you possibly be referring to Kelvin's Khan?
I would be, yes.
Many time. In my youth, yes, of course.
What can you tell us about it? We're thinking of going hiking on the morrow.
On the morrow, and he
Yes.
sort of tilts his head slightly and looks at you, and it's like, I'd recommend a day's sleep before you probably take on such a adventure. You all look like you've had quite a time at the hook, line, and sinker, if I am to guess.
What gives you that
Lots of
impression?
sinkers.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Someone slipped a sinker into my hook.
We're fine.
I'm still outside.
He can see you throwing up through the window.
He's like, please, that man cannot come in here while he is throwing up.
Did you get a blanket?
What?
No, I don't. I'm not in the market for a blanket.
I could have
I'm
sworn
in
you
the
said
market
something
for a
about
blanket.
it.
It's
I
fine,
see, yes.
It's fine.
It's almost like you're betraying a good friend of yours, and I would never do such a thing as a former
I
adventurer
quit this
myself.
podcast.
Oh, no!
No, it's fine.
No!
Just like a hand reaches down out of the sky and picks that up.
Toss.
Peace. Well, that's the podcast that's wrapping up there.
I guess I don't hear that. That's fine. Just give me these nice blankets. Whatever.
Don't I have your nice blanket, or you got more than one?
I had 2 blankets.
Oh.
But for some reason...
Wait, one for yourself though,
Yeah.
and the
yeah,
one that you gave
have,
to me.
Yeah. I have
Oh,
2
and then you.
blankets.
Okay.
That's why I'm so offended that you don't
I'm
want my
understand.
blanket anymore. And now I've got...
Gate. This is blanket gate.
And now I have Horatio's blanket.
You
Just talk about something else.
are looking to take on the Khan, which is quite a dangerous expedition, but you suspect then that whoever's stolen such items are headed that way.
Yes, we did initially follow the tracks, and they were headed. It looked towards the mountain. Are you aware of anything that lives out that way?
Oh yes, there's plentiful different creatures that stalk those mountains, but I would caution to maybe not come to conclusions so quickly. Of course, Kelvin's Khan is out that way, but the foothills of Kelvin's Khan also hold a lot of different places where brigands could hang about. There's also the Dwarven Valley nearby, which could easily have been made as a stopover to the Khan to the valley from here. And also, if you follow that line due west, you will come to the Lonely Wood eventually.
That sounds grim.
Oh, yes, sometimes if you get lost, of course. I'm just saying that the direction of the Khan is not as isolated as you would expect. Of course, I haven't been there in many a year. Many a
Inside
season.
check.
Go for it. Disadvantage. I think. What? Don't you have disadvantage on all your wisdom?
Look, I don't know. What am I
Yeah,
supposed to
yeah,
remember?
he does.
Yeah, disadvantage.
Disadvantage on my wisdom. Okay.
But you still got advantage on persuasion, I think.
You do, yes, at this
The charisma
stage.
check.
You didn't quite get as drunk.
Oh, that's a 12.
A 12. I mean, he seems to be recalling it as if he'd been there, as far as you can tell.
Okay.
Doesn't appear to be lying or anything like that.
Okay. Thank you, sir. You've been very helpful. If you'll excuse me, I need to look at not blankets.
Let me direct you to the not blanket section.
The rest
Seems
of the
legit.
store?
It is the opposite of the blanket section. Nega blankets, if you will.
Do you have goggles?
Goggles?
Yes.
Yes, I do, but they are rather expensive. Glass and made with such precision is hard out here in the 10 towns. You'd probably be looking at 25 gold pieces.
Oh, never mind.
Rarely can people afford such fine craftsmanship.
What about hiking equipment to help us up the mountain?
I have various hiking equipment here, yes.
Would you recommend a package deal?
I could put together something if depending on what you're after. And I would say that you could probably buy most things out of the adventuring gear in the player's handbook, but the prices are a little bit inflated because you're out. Maybe put another 50% markup on any price that you see,
That's
at least.
gracious. Adventuring gear. I'm just going to bring up the adventuring gear.
I'll hold up an ice pick. We need one of these.
It's possible you may require to scale if you want to climb some of the sheer faces of the peak, but it may not be necessary.
How
It's always
much?
handy to have. I'll direct you to the adventuring gear and a 50% markup on whatever's in that book. But please, I would really advise that you make sure you sober up before you head out that way. The wilderness has a habit of taking the ill-prepared.
At this stage, I will enter the establishment.
Perfect.
Now, have you finished? Growing
Yes.
up.
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, good.
I was a good boy.
Just stay away from that section.
Yes.
It's hard to
Carnelian
clean.
will wave away like anything that's still stuck to his face.
It's just
Oh, thanks. I was
prestidigitated
having
away.
trouble with that. Saves me having to buy a towel.
Or a blanket.
Well, yeah, well, I've got a funny smelling one now, but it's very warm. Smells funny but familiar. It's strange. I think I might keep this. Where did this come from?
Someone appreciates my blankets.
Wait, this is yours?
Yeah, I got yours.
Where did you get that?
I think you gave it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's mine now. Just put it in.
Yes, well, deal's a deal, I suppose.
Yeah, was it a deal?
I think we made a deal.
Or...
It was a trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
I
now.
make a good trade.
Yeah.
Carnelian will look around and he will actually point out a climber's kit.
Okay.
We
So-
cannot afford that. I saw that. I mean, you can.
Again,
probably.
50% on,
You
50%
can
on
be
top of what he's asking
Rockefeller.
for. What's in the book?
So it is 25 gold in the book.
Yep.
So
Quick math.
That would be 37 and 5 silver.
Yes, that is how much it's priced at.
Carnelian will. Carnelian will ask how much. Will ask. Isn't this is perhaps a bit costly for this kind of equipment? You don't suppose you could do it for 30 gold instead?
Costly indeed. Out here in the edge of nowhere, equipment is not easy to come by, and so therefore it is more expensive than it would normally be in a larger city. But maybe we can have some sort of negotiation. Roll a persuasion check.
Carnelian is more than willing to negotiate. But, oh no, that is a 1. Carnelian is not good at negotiating.
Carnelian, you don't want this one. It doesn't even have a rope in it. And I take
It
the rope
actually
out and
does.
throw it underneath a nearby shelf or something.
Please do not kick rope underneath the shelves at my store. It makes it very hard to get to. I will give you a 5 silver discount to make it an even 37 gold.
Good enough.
Then yes, 37 gold will be the total for a climber's kit.
My good sir, Burt, who wasn't it? Burt?
A tennis.
Oh, God,
tenor.
I got it wrong.
That's right.
Jesus.
I also
Oh,
slightly
yes.
misspoke when I first introduced him. A tennis.
Okay.
Do you pick up any signals? Television? Radio? It's a stretch, but... Oh, sorry, it's just the ale talking.
What? By the gods, what are you talking about?
It just came to me in a vision. Sorry, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Do you have something that's very exclusive? But I've heard that places like this may or may not sell it. Do you have an adventurer's kit?
Yes, I do believe I would have something like that. The price will be 50% more than in the player's handbook.
Players what now?
Don't make me look it up, please.
Touché, good sir.
And, young lady, I think I've seen you around town before.
Yeah, I come around sometimes to sell trinkets and knickknacks.
Well, it is good to see you in town again, and not taken by the wilderness.
That's very subjective. But might you have some more rope? I think I left mine on the boat.
Why, yes, I could direct you to these fine different cordings of rope, but
get
they
the
are
rope out
50%
from
more
under
than
the
in the
shelf.
player's handbook. Sorry?
I get the rope out from under the shelf.
It would be 2 gold pieces.
That will be 2 gold pieces for... Is that a hempen rope, is it?
That's just salmon, right? I don't need silk.
You could have... Well, silk rope would be stronger, of course.
But it's also
And lighter.
10 gold pieces in the player's handbook.
Which means it would be 15 gold pieces.
Some good maths.
Quick math.
Oh, well, I suppose it would be... Wait, 50% more. It would be 1 gold, 5 silver for the hempen.
You've put the idea of 2 gold in my head, though.
She.
No, it is 50% more.
For Tim, if you want to ask him, he might sell salves.
Oh, Bert, do you sell salves? Do you sell creams, lotions, topical ointments?
Are you asking me if I sell something equivalent to what would be a first aid kit needed in survival situations?
Well, I'll take that. I can turn it into something. Something creamy, if you know what I mean.
It will be the same as 50% more than in the player's handbook.
Thank you, Bert. I'll inspect.
That'll be old Bert.
That'll be old Bert. Bert Handbook, they call him.
Bird handbook.
Bert handbook.
Goodness gracious me.
Hey, Bert, do you sell magnifying glass?
What is it called again?
I want to zap some bugs
Jeez.
He does, it's 100 gold pieces.
for a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
Oh, because of the glass?
Yeah.
What's that?
Well,
How
yeah,
expensive?
it's in the player's handbook. It's 100 gold.
Yeah, I know. I just randomly saw it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it cost though. He's too fast. I'm not that quick.
Oh,
there it is. Yeah,
5 gold.
Healer's kit, 5 gold. Sorry.
No, I wasn't going to say anything.
No, you
I just
won't.
wanted to breathe at him.
Oh. I also breathe at Bert. Mr. Handbook, do you have any healer's kit?
My last name is
Cummings.
Oh, it's not Baccarat?
You keep mentioning this player's handbook. Is it any relation of yours?
Ah, yes, my younger cousin. Handbook.
First name Hand, last
First
name
name players.
First name
No, that's my niece. Players, of course.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he
healer's
will
kit.
have a... It's essentially a first aid kit, but it'd be equivalent, so you could utilize it in the same way, but it would be whatever the cost is, as I said.
So,
7 gold and 5 silver.
yeah,
pieces.
for a healer. Yep. Any middle ground there, Bert? Let's talk.
You want to roll me a persuasion check with disadvantage?
You got it. I know a thing or two about deals. I know how to secure a good deal. Persuasion?
Yep.
A 9.
The price is firm.
Firm. I'll take it.
Non-negotiable.
I'll take it. Thanks, Bert.
My name is Dennis.
Yes, Dennis the Menace. We know.
Maybe if you had remembered his name, he might have been more amenable
Possible, yeah.
to a deal.
Or at least
Definitely
my,
a plausible
at least my nephew.
explanation.
Handbook.
Bert. Oh, sorry.
No, I'm breathing. Sorry.
Why?
Has anybody
I asked myself the same question.
Right even once?
Of
Sorry.
course we have. It's Bert.
Bert.
My name is Tennis.
Tennis?
Tennis.
Tennis.
Oh, I'm not going to remember that.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, sir. My friends are drunk.
Hello.
I think I could tell that from their demeanor and general waft of alcohol.
I'm going to breathe on him.
Please do
Please
not.
do not. I turn the breath to a nice
Horatio
meaty
just
freshness.
He doesn't
in
do anything, just
prestidigitation.
I still know what it is.
Meaty. Sorry, well then you were going to say something.
He's like, minty. Sorry.
I don't know now.
I'm so sorry.
No. I was going to ask a question, but it doesn't really help the cause. I feel like we've gotten as much as we can out of Bert.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that much more helpful. He's told us about the brigands and that the mountain's pretty difficult. Mm-hmm. And what was the other thing? The dwarf fields.
The Dwarven
The valley.
Valley.
Dwarven Valley.
Where they all play and dance naked.
So I reckon we could find these brigands and
Perhaps
destroy them.
if you are interested, there may be a couple of items.
Shut up, Bert. We're strategizing.
Whoa!
We're in the, sorry,
Then
Oh, such
I will
authority.
put these
Horatio
away
laughs.
then. He puts a couple packages away from back behind the counter.
Just joking, Burt. You can get them out.
He didn't mean it, Burt. Come on.
He's drunk.
Cornelius just gonna kind of like curl up into a little ball and die.
Aw.
You're breaking my balls, Burt.
Well, after you so rudely interrupted, I'm not sure if I should offer you some of my specialty items that are available outside of the player's handbook.
But please.
Very well. If you will say my name,
Look, Burt.
I was going to say it.
then I will put this away.
I can't even afford your regular items at these obscene prices. How do you think we're going to afford your specialty items?
Maybe you should
That
have
little
let him
lizard has a
finish.
lot of money.
He just spent half of it
He
on a
did.
blanket or something. I can't remember. Oh, climbing gear.
Look, Dennis, I'm sure he's got... What have you got in the parcel? Come on, maybe we can afford it. I'm starting to sound like Woden. I don't even know why.
Cornelius wants to die.
I pick you up off the ground.
Perhaps
Look,
I can
Reynolds
just...
not going to change his tune. He's always going to be like this.
Yeah. Once a Burt, always a Burt.
He's so mean to the shopkeeper. He hasn't done anything wrong.
That's his
mean
problem.
drunks.
That's his problem.
Sorry, what was your name again?
Cornelius.
Carnelian. Perhaps we could just deal like businessmen. Respectful.
I'd love to.
Then, indeed, you may be interested in a couple of specialty items that are not available in the player's handbook.
Please, I'd love to see them.
You can have some cold weather clothing if you do not already have it, which I will note that all of you would have started with. They are 10 gold pieces a set. There are some crampons that you can also get. A metal plate with spikes that strapped to the sole of the boot will help you with climbing.
Oh.
That could be useful to you. They are 2 gold
thought it was
pieces
something.
each for a pair. Additionally, what could be handy if you're going to be trekking over long distances are snowshoes. Also 2 gold pieces a pair.
And
Wouldn't that be... That's not included in cold weather clothing?
It is not. They are separate.
the Crampians might be useful.
I think they all
Did
might be
I
useful.
pronounce it correctly? It says crampons.
I think
I'm
it's...
deliberately mispronouncing
Okay,
it.
now you're throwing me off.
So,
How much were the crampons again?
8,
sorry?
16.
2 gold pieces a pair will be the crampons or the snowshoes. Cold weather gear will run you 10 gold pieces for a set.
Do you do bulk discounts on crampons?
Perhaps if someone is able to roll a good persuasion check, I could be persuaded to part with them for slightly less.
Shotgun not.
So
What's a
if
shotgun?
we were to perhaps get 4 sets of both the crampons and the snowshoes,
Yes.
because we will be trekking across snow,
That would normally
you-
be 16 gold pieces. What do you
be
propose?
happy to cut that down to, say, 12? If we were to buy it in bulk?
Aren't we going to use the dog sleds to get there?
That's a good point, but we won't have the dog sleds forever.
There may
And
be
they're not really good
some-
at hiking. So.
Yeah, there may be some locations, even indoors, that we might have to scale or might have some risky, especially in this kind of weather.
You're proposing 12 gold pieces for a full set of 4 for both. Roll your persuasion check.
Do you need a hand?
Burt Meta is what they call
Let's
him.
try that.
Ooh!
That is
Oh,
significantly
nice.
better. That is a 23. And Carnelian will... So, perhaps it is because of the unseasonable eternal twilight, but Carnelian thinks perhaps you are a little light on customers wishing to mountain climb. Maybe you should take the deal in good faith that we might come back and purchase more.
You'd be surprised that the Khan is quite popular for a variety of different people across 10 towns,
Even at this time?
even at this time.
God, I'm
But
surprised.
your words move me. 13 gold, and I will let them go.
Carnelian and I will accept this.
Then we have a deal.
I have a question for you, Dennis, if I may.
I am not talking to you, as you will not use my correct name.
I'm sorry, Antenna, fine.
That is still incorrect. Even Mr. Swift would be acceptable.
Okay, fine, Taylor. I'm sorry, I'm pushing the luck here. Mr.
Pushing
Swift.
it, yeah.
Mr.
Mr.
Swift.
Swift.
Mr. Swift, if I may.
You've changed personality quite a lot.
you say you've got a lot of customers coming through here.
A lot is a strong term, but there are always those that wish to climb the cairn.
Perhaps in the last 12 to 24 hours, have you seen any unusually looking individuals come through with supplies?
Ourselves excluded.
Yeah, some very odd set of individuals.
Yes.
I can't say that I have noticed anything unusual in the past few days, no. Only the tracks that were left outside my store were somewhat unusual.
How
Were
so?
they wearing crampons?
There were small depressions of someone moving relatively quickly over the snow. I lost them, as I said earlier, as my age would not allow me to follow any further than a few hundred feet from the town.
Quite close together footsteps. A smaller person.
I would have thought they were a medium creature, but that range is quite large if you look at the definition.
Could be a centaur.
It's true. As such, I did not pay enough of it mind. I may have failed my survival check at the time.
At least we know that they're not a minotaur.
Alright.
Well, I thank you,
Let's go before
Mr.
we
Swift.
embarrass ourselves further.
Thank you, Mr. Swift.
You are welcome.
Bye.
In good faith, then.
Oh, yes, Kellenthorpe judge you fairly,
Oh, that sounds,
etc.
Have a good day. Enjoy all your
sounds
money.
very menacing.
He's just like Scrooge McDuck, yes! Throwing money everywhere. You leave the store. So, what do you guys want to do? You've just left the Frozenfar Expeditions.
I think we should go get the dogs and head north.
I agree, yeah.
Yep.
Agreed.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we've just moved to perpetual dusk after the midday of this frozen wintry town, and you guys want to head back to the tavern, pick up your dogs and sled, and then move out of town.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I would like someone to make me a survival check to try and pick up on the trail that you found earlier today.
I don't feel so good.
Would you allow if I shifted to nullify the chunk effects for a little bit?
You would at least not have disadvantage,
Yeah.
but you would not have advantage.
But if Carnelia was involved.
At that stage, I could assist.
So
Scandal.
no, so this is the thing. Remember, one instance of disadvantage
that
will
is
always
true.
counter.
Yeah.
So
Do you
it would
wanna
be the
just
other way
roll?
around.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you could shift to get rid of your disadvantage and then assist me, and then
That-
I'll roll
that-
with...
yeah.
I know what to do.
All right, so you're shifting to a more
Puffy form.
puffy form.
Way more cat-like form.
That would be a 16.
16. Just hit the DC. You do manage to pick up the trail which you left off. You're a couple hundred feet from the town and you find those larger tracks, but now they are significantly obscured. Following them are going to be quite difficult.
Woden will cast light on a piton and sort of stick it in the front of the sled somehow. It's kind of like I guess a headlight,
You can do that.
just to give us a bit of help with our vision.
Help us see the tracks a little bit better in front of us too.
That will help, but just bear in mind that you're still going to need to make checks as you go. So you're following this trail?
We will try our best.
Yeah.
Okay. Handle animal? I'm assuming this is all falling on...
It's all on you, cunt.
Well, they have to.
I'm already nodding off.
Am I getting advantage from someone on this one? How long does the shift...
1 whole minute.
Ooh, boy.
Probably
Probably not.
No, I'm going to say no. You need it for the entire time.
I'm gonna have a nap.
Ooh, that's a 1. No, sorry. Yeah, that's a 1.
So I'm going to say then it takes you a good
Oh,
30
God.
minutes to get the dogs in. It's just not easy to get the dogs in line, especially you're not used to handling this many dogs. It's
Carnelian gets frustrated and starts barking back at
yeah. There's this sort of back and forth barking just going on, and half an hour later you slowly set off.
He's not actually barking. He's just speaking. He's just shouting in Draconic at them.
Can anyone understand Draconic?
Yip, yap, yap, yip.
No.
So there's this sort of back and forth. Half an hour goes by and you're able to get them going, but it's slower than usual. you start following the trail, and every so often you sort of lose track, have to stop, look around again, pick up the trail again,
Wait.
move forward.
I have to pee. Can we pull over?
I mean, just pick a time when we have to stop and find the trail again.
I can pee off the side if you want,
No,
but
do not.
you might get sprayed. I don't know.
Do not.
I implore you to reconsider. You travel a couple hours like this. In fact, probably a little bit longer than you're expecting. So I'm going to say from half an hour to 3 hours.
Are we sobering up at all along at this?
At this
any
stage,
point?
Woden's sobered up himself. Sveta and Horatio still have a little bit longer to go, but they've at least probably come down from having disadvantage on everything and probably just have disadvantage on their dexterity saving throws.
Okay.
Cool.
This perpetual air is really helping clear out the alcohols.
The perpetual alcohol. You...
Did you pee?
I don't know. Did I pee? Did we stop?
I'm not even going to dignify that necessarily with a response.
I peed while we were moving, guys. I'm sorry.
Don't
You guys wouldn't stop?
don't eat the yellow snow.
He's leaving a trail.
After you've been tracking like this this is now coming into late afternoon. It is starting to get dark. You're coming up to the Khan, the mountain, when the tracks veer off a little bit further to the west, steering more into the foothills than the mountain itself. As you continue, you follow those tracks for a while, and you lose sight of them. I need another survival check to try and pick up the trail.
Sveta can
feeling
handle
good?
this one.
Yeah.
She's not on. I will assist, though.
She's feeling a bit better. Hell, I am too.
Oh, yeah. That is a 23.
23 is good enough.
That's clutch at this stage too.
You are searching around, and now it's coming up to being the darkness, but you're able to pick up the trail that you've been following that turns sharply. And you...
So these guys are on foot. We're on a sled. With the speed that we're traveling, are the tracks getting any less buried in the snow?
No, you're following these tracks hours after they've been made.
Okay.
So they're difficult to follow. But Sveta, with a keen eye and keen scent, are able to pick up the trail once again as it leads further into the foothills rather than the mountain itself. And one thing you notice from that survival check as well, the indentations are a bit more clearer for you. And you, on one of your sort of expeditions of getting off the cart and sort of re-picking up your trail, you are looking very closely at those tracks, and you feel like you're getting a better handle on what could be making them.
Sveta, what do you see?
What do I see?
You think that the tracks might belong to an ogre.
Ogre.
Oh my god, that sounds like a hell of a fight.
It sounds exciting. I've never seen an ogre before.
You haven't?
No.
And you lived here?
I don't
It
really
must be rare.
come up this high north.
Do you know about them, though? Could we fight one?
Have I read
That would
a
be
book?
such a cool story for those guys back at the bar.
You know that ogres are large creatures that are particularly deadly with any kind of weapons that are sort of oversized. And in general, they can be pretty tough adversaries to go against. They tend to be very, in game terms, very healthy. And they can hit hard.
Could I get maybe a knowledge check of some description to find out what Carnelian might know about ogres?
Sure, so that's probably going to be, in this case, a history check would be the closest thing I could think of. Or you could roll a nature as well. Might fit the bill.
Okay, nature is... that would be a 12.
Yeah, I mean, look, ogres are still fairly commonplace, so you don't have to roll particularly well. They're big creatures, not particularly smart, but very strong. And they have a lot of durability.
It might be nice.
Any other tracks, Sveta? Just the ogre?
I'll look around a bit more.
You can see the sort of indentations of that wide path. So these, consider these giant steps are in the middle of a very wide, cutting into the snow. So it's sort of like in the middle, like it could be dragging some sort of sled or something, that kind of thing.
Are we in like an open sort of area, like an open field, or are we...
After a couple hours of travel, you have approached the mountain, so you can see it sort of looming up in front of you. and the sun is setting behind it, giving it sort of casting it in silhouette.
Can we
But
see?
you've turned now to the foothills of the mountain, which are not quite like sheer climbs or cliffs, but there is a bit of like sort of hiking, like, going uphill involved when you're sort of going into the roots of the mountain.
And we can't see like anywhere that would indicate like a camp or a settlement for these like the dwarves that are out here or the brigands or anything like that.
So continuing on the survival check that Sveta made, the tracks lead you way off into the foothills, and you come down one of the spurs of the mountain. And following the trail, you can see ahead of you what looks to be some form of outpost. Set into the mountain itself, and it looks to be largely made of very thick stone, crafted somewhat expertly, and of a distance of about maybe 300 feet in front of you. If you hadn't have followed this trail, it would have been very difficult to find.
Sveta, does this look like something that an ogre would make? Seems very tidy. I feel like they'd be a lot more sloppy with their construction.
Do you know much about ogres?
No.
Can we see... Sorry, did you say we can see structures?
What you can see ahead of you, so you guys have how much... It's still light, so I'm going to give you a little bit of... but the light is fading pretty quickly. What you can see in front of you is essentially coming down from the spur of the mountain, set into not a cave, but like a... What would you call it? Like a little indentation in the mountain that would have been otherwise hidden away. You can see that the natural face of it sort of gives way to a more like straight constructed structure made out of stone, almost constructed deep into the mountain itself. There is a sort of a river, like sort of not a river, but a small like sort of creek that runs from the center of it and cuts like a small valley down the spur, and you're sort of running alongside of. There's more sheer, like we're starting into now actually setting into the Khan itself. There's more sheer cliffs either side of you leading into this outpost area, and you can see what looks like maybe a bunker set off to the side of this structure as well. In the distance you can see a couple of double doors that lead into the structure itself.
Seems fortified. Perhaps there's a large group of individuals here. Could this potentially be the bandits, you think?
I think we should try and find a higher vantage point. Scope it out a bit. See if there's another entrance. Or even if we need to enter.
Perhaps we should look for somewhere to hide our sled?
Seems like an easy way to avoid a fight.
You make it sound like a bad thing?
Hey, I'm just trying to get some XP, baby.
XP.
What is this?
Extra.
Don't say it. Don't say it. I can see what you want to say. Don't say it. So, just so that you have the picture, is like either side coming into where the main fort. So consider this sort of like a curved, like almost enclave, and you can see the double doors set in the very middle of it.
A curved interval?
And then there's a bunker that's sort of just outside those double doors, maybe a bit like 50 to 60 feet closer.
Are the double doors tall enough for an ogre to fit inside?
Certainly, yes. There is a small, not a river, but like a stream that's running from almost like a sewer grate, maybe that you can see in the distance that runs down along this sort of making a small valley, if you will. And it sort of elevates from that small stream in maybe 10 foot increments, sort of, so 20 feet across and 10 foot up. That's how the elevation works until it hits that sheer rock face.
Any signs of activity, movement, people?
From where you are, roughly 300 feet away, roll a perception check.
Can I look for
Natural
Sorry?
Can I look for
20.
Skeletons, yeah. You can look for skeletons.
Just repeating that. Natural 20, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Well, nothing but single digits all night. Save my best till last.
What's the total?
I mean, since last week as well. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's about 23.
23. And Sveta, you were looking for
Skeletons.
skeletons.
Yeah, like goat skeletons or
Right.
human
Okay.
skeletons.
So roll. Yeah, what's your perception as well?
15.
15. Anyone else? Or do you want to leave it at those ones?
Yeah, happy with that.
Okay. Carnelian doesn't trust anyone?
14.
14. So I'll start with Sveta. You don't see any, like, remains or skeletons or anything that would indicate that kind of thing nearby. And for Horatio, it's not that you don't notice, like, anything. It's the absence of things. So if this was, like, an outpost that was manned, for example, where are all the torches and lights? It's getting dark now. And this is sort of set into the back of a mountain that's silhouetted. So now, I'm going to say now you guys are in darkness. So anyone with dark vision, the fading light is just going to, after we do this description part, you won't be able to see the doors I was saying, for example. It's just now starting to come into darkness. I'll give you that lay of the land, but you don't see any torches anywhere that would be peeking out of any holes. There doesn't appear to be sort of any activity outside that you can see before the sun fades.
I think now's the time to hide the sled and the dogs.
I agree.
Yes.
And there seems to be zero activity whatsoever. It's getting dark. No lights are being lit. No torches. No movement. Very unusual.
Okay, so you guys are just going to back off a little bit to find a place to hide the dogs.
Yeah, maybe set up a camp. Was it time? Time for camp?
Yeah.
I will say at this point, both Sveta and Horatio are no longer intoxicated. So nobody's intoxicated anymore. So you back off. How far are you backing off from this place?
We're already 300 feet away.
I think it'd be better to look for like less so like an amount of distance and more so like somewhere that's sheltered that we could conceivably like that hide them properly.
Okay, that would probably be survival checks then.
What's 300 feet in normal measurements?
Ooh, I want to guess. 150 meters.
I feel like that's around the same. Yeah.
It's probably not. It's probably like 120 or something.
It's 91.
Ah, I was close.
No, a good.
We're pretty close.
Yeah, we're pretty close.
So
we should back off
roughly
another-
100 meters. So a good rugby pitch away.
150 feet for an extra 50 meters.
So, but I think
I think so.
Carnelian was looking for maybe a specific shelter. So I would like survival checks if you're wanting to do that.
Yeah, I'm inclined to look for shelter too.
Survival?
Survival, yes.
Alright.
Can I also?
If you want, yeah.
Go on.
9.
9,
14.
14,
Natural 1.
natural 1.
For a
Just
4.
like toss a blanket over a dog.
Sorry, for a 5.
Sveta?
Only Dogcliff.
18.
18. Okay. Sveta, I'm going to say that you think you remember, if you follow the sort of outline of the mountain where it still hasn't gone into the mountain itself, you think you saw another place that's very similar to this, that was maybe a natural sort of hollow, like divot in the mountain, probably on one of its other spurs. It would take you another good half an hour to get there, if you'd like to.
If it's going to keep the dogs safe, yeah.
So it's a little bit far away from here, so you'd have to travel another half hour back, and it will certainly be dark by that point.
Sorry, we've got light.
Worth it.
You find another sort of spur of the mountain, and you're able to find a little enclave that you can use as a campsite.
Alcove?
Enclave?
I feel like
Enclave?
you're mixing the word enclave and
Probably.
alcove.
Yeah, most likely.
This is like a copper fairy or whatever you were saying.
Cockapethy.
Listen, I'm just having a jas of fata. Anyway. You guys are able to find a safe place that you can probably set up at least some form of camp, or at least leave the dogs.
Perhaps we keep the lights down tonight.
Yes, I agree.
Some sexy mood going on.
Okay. Are you going to stay here, or are you going to leave the dogs, or what are you going to do?
We'll keep them near, I think.
I think we should go investigate. Carnelian doesn't like the idea of camping close to the bandits, so perhaps we should go check them out and maybe see if they're the thieves while we're at it.
The only consideration I have is that for those of us who can't see too well in the dark, we may require light, and that could give our position away rather quickly. Although it does seem that there's no one there. I mean, if they come back, they will quite clearly see us. So
There has to be someone there, though, right? We followed the trail and it led us here.
We could tie a rope around you so you don't get lost.
drag me in the dark.
Well, we keep you in the middle of us.
Yeah.
Do you want to be up front?
Yeah, if you lead us, I think it'll be
Who,
alright.
who has dark vision in the party? Yep, so Horatio's the only one.
Just like just getting dragged along almost like a prisoner at the back without knowing where I'm going, stumbling.
Okay.
I think
That's what you want, yeah.
No, I'm willing to do that because I think it's a good idea if you can see.
Okay, so you're looking at heading back to where you were, which take you another good, without the dogs, maybe 45 minutes to get where you were before.
Snowshoes.
In your snowshoes, yep.
Yes.
Easier going if you didn't have the snowshoes. It might take you a good hour and a bit to get there.
Solid purchase.
But it certainly is dark now. I'm going to put you guys on a map.
Oh, time for map.
I hope this reveals correctly.
Oh, I see it bottom right.
Yep.
I see a bottom.
The bottom right is where you guys are.
Big giant face we're standing on.
Yeah.
Oh, we found the ogre?
That's just the corner of the map.
Oh, it's very well decorated.
I'm going to read this text that probably would have noticed when you first came here, when it was still a bit daylight. A blocky stronghold, bereft of warmth or charm, juts out of the hillside in a rough crescent shape. Only part of its construction is visible. The rest is buried in the stone. A large double door of stone serves as the main entrance. The terrain leading to it is a gently upward sloping plain covered with fresh snow. A stream used to flow out of the barred culvert northeast of the main entrance, but the waterway has frozen. 2 other barred openings can be seen along the stronghold's northern wall. Anyone positioned behind those openings would have an unobstructed view of the hillside. Closer to you, separated from the rest of the stronghold, is a snow-covered stone bunker perforated by arrow slits.
Why didn't you read that earlier?
Because I forgot.
Okay, so that's...
I can't see shit.
Oh, sorry.
So now that you're here...
I can see the frozen stream leading into a culvert, and I'm thinking with our new crampons,
Those
we can perhaps sneak in the culvert in a covert culvert mission. Thoughts?
Right now, where you're standing, just so you know, you're about 200 feet, 300 feet away, I think, and you're sort of in, I'm going to say just sort of in the lowest point. So it sort of extends upwards as we're sloping upwards on either side of you and towards the double doors.
I mean, I trust you, Warden. I trust your instinct.
You mean you have to right now? You can't see shit.
Well, yes, there's that.
How far apart are the bars in the that are blocking off this waterway?
Let's get closer and find out.
You would need to get closer, yeah.
What do we do when we get there?
We see if we can get in.
Oh, okay, check the door. Just push it open.
No, the culvert.
Oh, yeah, of course.
See if we can send us perhaps a small member of the party through.
Itty bitty.
Okay. So you can move yourselves on the map if you'd like to. Probably just move in small increments.
60 feet, baby!
Wait, come back.
Sorry. Grab my tail.
Let us advance and get closer to this. What did you call it? A culvert?
So the culvert is further up near the
Culvert.
double doors, and the bunker is more ahead of you to the north, which is closer.
All right, what's the plan?
Nothing, I just found out something stupid, but, I don't know, you had the plan.
I'm still with you, Warden.
Do you want to discord?
Yeah, I think so, but I'm just leaving it open to the party.
There's
Yes.
no lights, right? Like,
You don't see any lights.
Still nothing.
Can ogres see in the dark?
Oh, I don't know.
Can bandits see in the dark?
I may
humans
have-
Human the
usually
bandits
can't.
can.
Humans usually can't.
I may have read about ogres at some stage in my studies. I'll just have to consult with the dungeon master.
Humans cannot see in the dark, no.
But ogres.
What about ogres?
What about you roll me a check?
Hey,
A nature check, because you didn't roll it before.
I just made the bold assumption Sveta doesn't know. I've read about it in a book. But not enough.
I was just
I've read about
making an
trolls.
excuse for
You guys all
history.
made like
Giants,
several checks at once, and I
Ettins,
sort of just gave information out.
Ettertabs.
So we're heading north if we're going to the culvert.
7 plus 5 is
12. You think that they might, yeah.
There's,
Might have dark vision.
12. They might have dark vision.
I think we can kind of make out the frozen waterway, and I think if we follow that takes us to where.
So the frozen waterways to the south of where you guys are, and you can see the cliff line to the north, and just coming into view, you might see the shape of a bunker. Which way would you like to go?
I'm back again. Southwest. I think we should head to the culvert.
Good
Okay.
idea.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Sneakily.
Covert.
Should we roll for stealth?
If you want to, yeah, absolutely.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. With disadvantage because I'm a surprisingly tanky boy.
Goodness me.
Tank man with no strength.
Tank man, no strength. That me. You punch me, I take it. You
Well,
punch
I've
me
got
for
a 6.
That's a 20 for me.
21.
Okay.
I don't know why I sounded like that.
A 24.
With disadvantage?
18.
Oh, it's pretty good
That's
still.
still pretty good.
All right.
My stealth's quite good.
All right, so move yourselves on the map. I'd probably say another good 50, 60 feet closer.
Oh, that's not Horatio. That's COD.
Oh.
The total.
Oh, can you roll your actual check, please?
Yeah, hang on.
That explains why
This will
he's
make
so
a difference.
tanky.
Why is my speed 60 when I'm a tortoise?
I don't know, man.
Because I like making funny characters. Yes, he was a monk. It was like the monk out of
Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda?
Kung Fu Panda. Thanks.
That's right.
He was great.
So, sorry, can I get those stealth checks again? It was 24, I think, for...
Just 20.
20,
Oh, a flat roll.
21.
21,
6.
6,
13.
13. Okay.
That's a pretty high average, I would say, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just depends on
Strong
who's
14.
Confident
watching
about that.
would beat the average of those scores.
Surely not a
The average,
dumb
Or at least
ogre.
the
average
two
of
of you.
18.
We'll have to find out. You can see, in the distance, those with dark vision, you can see the edges of that bunker now in view. And as you do, you hear just sort of the faintest wisp of wind howling across the spur of the mountain.
Oh, baby.
And a distinctive click
Oh, baby.
whoop, as a bolt comes flying towards the party. We'll just have to find out who it hits next week.
Probably
On
Rick
Reflex
Alien.
Save.
Oh,
It's a messed up family tree.
Right as I tell him I'd bang myself. I'm sorry, Andrew, in advance. It's a work in progress. We're
Definitely keeping the I bang myself part.
Yeah, I'll be probably keeping that one in for the end of the
Let him know
episode.
about banging and end up banging myself.